Hi friends, Jenny at Clover and Violet here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how I cut these charm squares into 2.5-inch squares. Now, this might seem super easy to you, just measure 2.5 inches and cut them. But have you ever noticed when working with charm squares that they have these edges that are pinked? So like using a pinking shear, they're cut like that so they don't fray, but sometimes your charm square is not going to measure exactly 5 inches. So there is a way to cut the squares so that all your pieces, even if they're slightly off of 2.5 inches, are all the exact same size, just like this. So this is a really quick video, and I'm just going to show you how I do that so that next time you want to cut some charm squares into 2.5-inch squares evenly, so you get 4 squares out of every charm square, how I do that. All right, let's head over to the cutting table and cut those charm squares. I don't know about you, but if you have ever bought a charm pack and wished that it was 2.5-inch squares, I'm going to show you the really easy way that I cut my charm packs down to size. So you'll need 2 rulers and your rotary cutter, and that is it. So let's take our charm squares and lay them out. I'm just going to do 5 at a time. Stack them as neatly as possible. You can see that I've laid them out on the side folded up to see what kind of layout I actually wanted. So then I'm going to lay them out. And this is how I'm going to cut them evenly, because you know, these edges sometimes make your charm squares not the full 5 or a little bit beyond the full 5 inches, depending on if they've been rubbed around and lost some of their size. And then a lot of times if you measure 2.5 like this, let's do it on the other side. This ruler has a 1/2 inch built in. If you measure 2.5 like this from the edge of the zigzags, when you measure the other side, it's actually a little beyond 2.5. See how these edges are just right past the 2.5? So what I'm gonna do is make sure they're all even. This yellow one got a little off. Okay. And then I'm gonna place my 2 rulers on the charm pack. And I'm gonna go for the 2.5-inch line on both. And what I'm just gonna do is even it up so that about the same amount of the zigzags over it hangs. And then I'll remove 1 ruler and cut my charm pack in half. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna place my rulers just like this, get those 2.5-inch nice and straight and even, and then take away 1 ruler and cut the charm pack again. So now we have our 2.5-inch squares, and if I lay those on my cutting mat, you'll see that they're just a tiny bit beyond 2.5, but they're all even now. So now I've cut all of these squares nice and even, and I'm ready to make my project.